Hey there, I'm Stasha, the period coach, and I am here to give you a little bit of information about our luteal phase. So, this is part 4 in a short series, one in each phase, where we're talking about the energy in the phase, some movement to do in that phase, and a self care tip for that phase. So, the last installation here is our luteal phase. This is what some women affectionately think of as their PMS time, though it is actually much longer than that. It's from ovulation until menstruation, which for some weeks, for some women, can actually be a full 14 days. It's probably the longest time in the menstrual cycle. And there's actually a little bit of a double hormonal part in there. So our estrogen and progesterone rise, and then we get a little extra bump of estrogen in this phase. So we get kind of an extra energy booster in the luteal phase. It's a cool phase, and it's not, PMS is not normal. That's not a good thing. We're not supposed to have PMS. It's not just part of being a woman. So I'd like to dispel that myth right here at the gate. The luteal phase is actually supposed to be a really nice phase of the cycle. It's a good time to turn internally. It actually has 2 different seasons and elements in Chinese medicine. So I think that kind of goes along with the fact that we have this little 2-part hormonal bit to it. And whether they knew it or not, they were super spot on with putting this together. I love Chinese medicine for this very reason. So smart. So it's actually the late summer and fall phase of the cycle. It is the earth and metal phase of the cycle. So we have 2 elements and 2 seasons for this. And it makes a lot of sense because we're coming out of ovulation, we're coming out of that summer, but it's kind of a gradual decline into a little bit lower energy. We go from complete yang energy into yin in our menstrual phase. So we're going from yang to yin here in this phase of the cycle. This energy is really supposed to be turning inward. Even if you're very extroverted, you may start to find yourself kind of turning a little more inward and introverted until menstruation or into menstruation. This is a great time to do the stuff in the house, frankly. So we're not going to go into all of that here. I want to keep these videos short, but this is a really good time to not beat yourself up for not wanting to do a lot of extroverted things because your energy is turning inward in this phase. That doesn't mean it starts out that way, though. It does mean that it becomes gradual, so don't feel like you have to turn that switch on and off. You are a woman, you are gradual, and you do things when you want to do them. So in this phase, in each of these cycles videos, we're doing a little bit about movement. And the movement in this phase should be this introverted feeling kind of coming along. So you may go from wanting to do lots of very big group activities in their previous 2 phases and start to move maybe more into individual things. So you may want to go from doing a fun group class with a bunch of people to just kind of doing your own thing, maybe going to a yoga class by yourself, maybe going on a hike by yourself or with just a few close friends. That's okay, and that's totally fine. And you should continue to move as long as you can, whether that's going for a walk, whether that's taking maybe more relaxed yoga class, maybe not a push yoga class, but maybe moving into something a little bit more mild, like even like a vinyasa class or something that's sort of a nice mid-range class. And then going into one self-care tip for this phase of the cycle, stop judging yourself. We have this idea in our society that we're supposed to go, do, push all of the time. But we don't want to do this during this phase of the cycle. In fact, a lot of times women feel more inclined to do things during their menstrual phase than their luteal phase. So I would ask you for your one self-care thing to do during this phase is to let go of your judgment. Don't feel like that you have to do everything all of the time during this phase of your cycle. Don't do. That's my self-care tip. Don't do. Don't do things if you don't feel like doing them. Don't push yourself to do all of the stuff that you don't want to do. Odds are you actually probably want to make some grocery lists, rearrange some furniture in your house. I'm not going to go into why, but there's some science into how your brain shifts that causes these things to happen. do it. You're going to want to batch cook. Go ahead and do that. Don't feel like you have to push yourself to go do all these extroverted, high energy things because you don't want to and you shouldn't do it during this phase of the cycle. You should do exactly what you want to do during this phase of the cycle. So don't do. And that is my self-care tip. I will give you an extra little bonus one since this is kind of a 2-part phase of your menstrual cycle. And my other one would be pick yourself up some clary sage. It's an amazing, unless you're pregnant, please do not, but then you're not having phases of your menstrual cycle if you're pregnant. But do not do this if you're pregnant. But pick up some clary sage. It's amazing for women. It's amazing for our hormonal cycles. It's actually used for women in childbirth because it's so good at helping relieve pain. And even if you don't have cramps, you don't feel pain, it's really nice to rub on the womb, on the abdomen, because it's very healing for the womb, for the abdomen, for the womb space. So even just giving yourself a little womb massage with, like, say, a carrier oil, like a little castor oil or a little coconut oil or something like that, even a little olive oil, and a drop of that clary sage, and just using that as a nice womb massage is just beautiful and healing during this phase of the cycle. So I hope you enjoyed that little extra bonus there. If you missed any of the other phases of the cycle, head on over to my YouTube channel and check them out. And please check out the link, the Red Circle Summit. Check it out because we dive into all of the phases of the menstrual cycle so much more in depth. We talk a lot about ritual and healing and things that you can do in each phase of the cycle to really just give yourself the most amazing life here on the face of the planet. Because don't forget, every day you are in a phase of your cycle. So every day is your life. Embracing this is just going to make your life better. So I hope that you checked out the link. If you haven't, please click it. I guess sometimes it's here, depending on where you're viewing this video. But click on the link, check it out, and I will see you on the inside.